Prime or composite? You remember what they mean? Prime only has factors of 1 and the number itself. A prime number is only 1 times itself. Composite, remember I told you the word composite means many parts. So it has more than this factor of just 1 times itself. It has many parts. It has more factors. I have a list of numbers up here. We're going to circle the prime numbers. Okay? So, tell me, do we circle 5? Is it prime or composite? 5 is prime. Only 1 times 5. 12. Composite. Many parts. 11. Prime. Very good. Only 1 times 11. 20. Composite. 35. Composite. 17. Prime. Very good. Only 1 times 17. 19. Prime. 1 times 19. 30. Got it. Composite. 3. Prime. 1 times 3. 2. Remember, this is the only even number that is prime. And 1. Do we circle 1 as prime? Because only 1 times 1 equals 1. No. 1 isn't prime and 1 isn't composite. It doesn't count. Alright, so we're going to divide by using the prime numbers or deciding if our number is prime. So let's say I give you the number 12. Alright, well let's come up with our factors. Okay, so 1 times 12, 2 times 6, these are our factor pairs, 3 times 4. Alright, so our factor pairs, our factors are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. So it has many parts, so it is composite. Alright, what about the number 3? 1 times 3. That's my factor pair. My factors are only 1 and the number itself. Therefore, it is prime. Alright, so let's divide by primes. And what do I mean by that? Some people will say it's upside down division. Okay, it's dividing by primes. If I gave you the number 16 and I want to divide by the primes, I'm going to draw like an L around it or a box around it, but not a full cube. Now, I want to start with the first prime number that will go into 16. Well, remember, 16 is even. We have an even number that's prime. The only even number that's prime is 2. So 16 divided by 2 gives you 8. Well, 8 is composite, so we have to divide the prime out by 2 because this is even. Now we get 4. Well, 4 is composite, so I have to divide again. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now this 2 is prime. So I have divided all the prime numbers out of 16. And we would say 16 equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Notice I have 4 2's. Now I will write this 2 to the power of 4. We will learn later that that's an exponent, but that's the saying I have 4 2's. And if you multiply 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. You have multiplied the primes of 16. All right, let's try another one. If I did 12, divide the prime out of 12. Okay, again, 12 is even. So we start with our only even prime numbers. 12 divided by 2 gives you 6. 6 is composite, so 6 divided by 2 gives you 3. Now 3 is prime. All my numbers over here are prime. All my numbers in my boxes are composite. So 12 equals 2 times 2 times 3. Or I could say 2 to the second power times 3. All right, let's try another one. Let's try 15. All right, well, 15 isn't even, so I cannot start with 2. So what's the next prime number? 3. Does 3 go into 15? It sure does. So now I have 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. 5 is prime, so I've already primed 15 out. 15 equals 3 times 5. Okay. What if I want to do 21? All right, well, 21 isn't even, so I can't start with 2, but I can start with 3. 21 divided by 3 gives you 7. 7 is prime. So I've primed 21 out to equal 3 times 7. This will be important when we just start doing our factor trees, prime factor trees. All right, let's do 24. All right, 24 is an even number, so I start with 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I have now found the prime numbers of 24. 24 equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Or I have 2 to the third. I have 3 2's times 3. All right, so this is dividing by primes. If you want to divide 9 by primes, 9 isn't even, so you can't use 2. But 3 is prime, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. And these are both primes. So 9 equals 3 times 3, or 3 squared. Because I have 2 3's. We'll learn about these exponents again later, but it's always good just to kind of have your mind rolling on that. All right, let's do one more. Let's do 100. Oh, Mrs. French, that's a big number to factor out. It is. But when we factor by primes, you see it's not as difficult as you think. 100 is an even number. Okay, so we know we start with 2 because 2 is our only even prime number. So 100 divided by 2 would be 50. 50 is an even number. It ends in 0. So we're going to divide 50 by 2. That gives you 25. Okay? Well, wait a minute. 25 isn't even. So 2 doesn't work. 3 doesn't go into 25. 4 is a composite number. What about 5 would be our next prime? And 25 divided by 5, very good, is 5. Now I have all prime numbers. So 100 equals 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. Or 2 squared times 5 squared. All right, work on your prime. Only 1 times the number itself, and composite, many parts. Keep that definition in your head. Composite means many parts. A lot of pieces make up the machinery. All right, like, share, and subscribe. Check you later.